Good morning, everybody. I'm Sheila. I'm proud to be the president of our Quilters Guild. Okay, it's an amazing organisation. Brings people together from all sorts of places. Anyway, we're here about the THT quilt, the Terrence Higgins Trust quilt, and I want to thank the Trust for asking us, for giving us the permission to do this. It's been an amazing journey, really. I had no idea how complicated it would be. I can't think, is it 2 years? It must be about 2 years that we've been at it. But it's brought together all sorts of people from all different walks of life, men, women, everybody. Sewers, non-sewers. Non-sewers have designed the panels, and us sewers have been translating those designs into panels. Sometimes not easy, but we've managed it. And honestly, our quilters have been truly amazing. Right, so I want to say thank you to the designers. Thank you for giving us the challenge. Thank you to our guild members for taking on that challenge. And also, some of them have never done anything like this before, and it's really taken them out of their comfort zone. We had threads. Threads were given to us to help sew the things by Orifil, so thank you to them. And all in all, I think it's just been an amazing achievement. Really, really amazing. And I've got to thank everybody who's taken part in it. And you should all be very proud. And I hope it goes on to be seen in lots of places, not just here. I know it's going to somewhere else after this, and I hope it will go to knitting and stitching in Harrogate, so more people will get to see it. But it needs to be seen by lots of people. The Terrence Higgins Trust profile needs to be raised, and this I'm sure will help. So thank you all very much. And I'll pass over, and we'll do the unveiling. Thank you.
Sheila, thank you to you and your amazing tribe of quilters that have brought an idea, an acorn of an idea, into a wonderful oak tree that I'm about to unveil to you today. My name is Richard Angel. I'm the Chief Exec of the Terrence Higgins Trust, and I'm able to inherit this fabulous tradition of an organisation that was the first AIDS response organisation anywhere in Europe and continues to fight for people living with HIV and to make sure other people don't experience HIV or poor sexual health. But I'm going to very quickly say I am here to unveil this absolutely beautiful Terry Higgins AIDS Memorial Quilt. Hey! Almost 41 years ago to the day, or about a month or two, Terry Higgins collapsed in Heaven nightclub and was transported over to St Thomas's Hospital. He was put in an infectious disease ward and kept away from lots of people, and he went on to become one of the first people to die of an AIDS-related illness here in the UK. And he, because of the bravery of his partner Rupert Whitaker, who is here today, and his friend Martin Butler, they made sure that he was named and spoken about and that his memory was never lost. Rupert had asked his doctors at the time whether Terry was experiencing this mystery virus that was coming over from America, as it was talked of at the time. And with great regret, they didn't talk back to Rupert for what Terry was experiencing, because they didn't recognise their queer love at the time. They didn't recognise him as his partner. And he was told he'd have to read about it in a medical journal. And Rupert did an amazing thing with Martin Butler, who's here, who's friends with Terry and worked with him in Heaven nightclub. And they turned what was reasonable anger into the most amazing action. They were absolutely determined that other people weren't going to go through what Terry went through and weren't going to go through the grief that they went through. And they decided in all of that they needed to set up an organisation, and they wanted to do it different to other people. They named us after Terry Higgins to humanise the AIDS epidemic and to try and bring about change quicker than we had seen previously. This quilt tells that story and goes back to the beginning. Rightly or wrongly, for 40 years, we've kept Terry as a symbol, as a two-dimensional figure, somebody that we could all rally behind in the AIDS response crisis to make sure that the future was better than the past. As we celebrate those 40 years plus, it's time to look back and make note of the man that we are named after. And it wasn't just because he was the first, it was because he was so special to those who founded our organisation, and to those special to those who remember him still today. So this tribute pays tribute to three groups of people. Firstly, Terry Higgins. You can see in the 8 panels behind me different parts of his story brought to life. The top one by his housemate who lived with him during those years that he was living in London, that would pretend sometimes to be his girlfriend if that was needed to make him get through a work challenge at the time and to deal with the homophobia. You can see the house, the street that he lived on at the time that he died, and underneath the archway is a story of where Linda and Terry visited his mum just before she died, and they saw a ghost apparently on the route through. You can see him at the top there, the second panel, which is a tribute to Pride. Terry was an LGBT activist. He was well known in the community. And at Pride in 1980, the police were beating up a drag queen, and Terry didn't stand for this. He jumped off the Heaven float, dressed head to toe in leather that you can see the homage to in the middle there. And he took off his belt to hit the police. And you can see the quote that he said there that I won't say now in such company. But he stood up for his rights and, importantly, the rights of others. You can see he served our country in the Navy, and people who served in the Navy today, and we're joined by Ollie Brown, who fought to change the rules so that people living with HIV could no longer be excluded from serving in our military, but pays tribute to that time that Rupert served our country. When he was done and decided that he had done his bit for Queen and country, he went up to his superior and said, I'm gay, you need to kick me out. And he was apparently told that if they kicked all the gays out the Navy, we wouldn't have a Navy left. So you can see in the small corner, he found some red paint, and on a warship at the height of the Cold War, drew hammer and sickles on the boat, and that did get him exited from our Navy. Next to him is the 17-year-old Terry in his school uniform of Haverfordwest Grammar School. Next to that is the Terry that Rupert remembers just before he died, and you can see on it the beautiful detail of the letter that he wrote to Rupert. Behind me is a tribute from Hansard, the people who record what our parliamentarians say in the House of Commons. Terry worked there and typed like the wind, as you can see it recorded there. There's a tribute to Heaven and his life when he would work by day and go out to Heaven nightclub and DJ through the night, and he was very popular on the scene. And finally, from my colleagues at Terrence Higgins Trust, a thank you for all of us for letting us work in his name for the last 41 years. And hopefully what you can see where they come together is they form the heart that has been the symbol of the Terrence Higgins Trust, taken from that heart, from the Heaven logo some 41 years ago, and lives with us today, and shows that we are stronger for all of the different parts of Terry that have come together, and we hopefully are a legacy that he would be proud of. The second group I want to pay tribute to is those who knew Terry and have been part of telling that story. And we've mentioned Rupert, who's here already, and Martin, but two remarkable people. They were recognised with OBEs in the Queen's final honours list, and I think they are worthy recipients of the great honour because they are heroes for the LGBT community and all of those who've been affected by HIV and AIDS. They decided to stand up when many others decided to hide in the shadows, and for that we are extremely thankful. And the third group this pays tribute to is all of you, the Quilters of the UK, this amazing network of people that can make stuff happen. In my world, we often talk about the gaffia, the gays that behind the scenes can make certain things take place. But the quaffia in the quilting world, that does remarkable things. And I'm here to recruit you to our cause because we need people across the United Kingdom to know about what's happening and what's changed about HIV in those 41 years. When Terry was in that hospital bed, there wasn't even a name for the virus, let alone a test. Today, we have the most remarkable testing, we have the most remarkable treatment, and we have the most remarkable care. We still have no vaccine and no cure, but we have all the tools necessary to end this epidemic. The worst news about HIV is not knowing you have it. If you've ever had sex without a condom, have a HIV test. It's always better to know your status. If you're negative, you're negative, and there's routes you can use to stay negative. There's condoms. There's a drug called PrEP, which you can take daily to prevent HIV transmission, or PEP that you can take if you think you've been exposed to HIV to make sure it doesn't take hold on your system. If you're positive, you can get into treatment straight away, and we can stop the virus attacking your immune system. And we can make sure that you cannot pass it on to anyone else. And if you just take one thing away from this today, know this, that people living with HIV who take their treatment, no ifs, no buts, cannot pass on the virus. It is scientific fact. 2 million acts of condomless sex, you cannot pass it on. So lots has changed in that time. We have all the tools necessary. The government have said they want to end new transmissions of HIV by 2030. We want to make sure they get there. We're going to hold their feet to the fire, and we need all of your help to do it. So whether you're buying cards in tribute to these beautiful quilts today, donating to our cause, joining our organisation, campaigning with us. I know people are doing the Cardiff Half Marathon for Terrence Higgins Trust and many other things. We need you to come together to help us get to that point. If we end this epidemic, we could be the first country in the world to do it. And if we've done it, it'll be the first time we've ended the onward transmission of a virus without a vaccine and without a cure. If that is not a thing to get excited about, to get powered up about, to get the quilters behind, to make something beautiful turn into something transformational, I don't know what is. We couldn't have done this project without you. Thank you very much. Thank you for the support you're about to give us. Thank you for everything you've done.